Okay. I think I want to say I left off right around here when I finished with you guys on like Wednesday. What I want to do, and I know I showed the demo and you guys watched it. You advanced your building. I'm going to do a similar thing here, but I'm going to try to point out maybe some of the errors that you might have made and some things I'll be looking for when I evaluate it tonight. Okay. First thing, let's just go ahead and get this thing parallel rule all even. Okay. Like I said, your blockout might be perfect or it might not be. Okay. So this would be a continuation of what we did. I'm just gonna show you my plan just to, oh yeah, that's right. So on my plan, I have a bedroom here and I have a bathroom. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to make this look balanced. So it doesn't look left heavy or right heavy. Sometimes you can't do that and it just is what it is. But if you have the opportunity, you kind of want to. The other thing I want you to notice is that there's a relationship between my upper elements and my lower elements in this case. Does it always have to be there? No. But when there is, there needs to be some kind of a relationship between those elements. Now, it might change as this thing evolves, as you move rooms around and stuff like that, but this is the intent. All right. And then I have my tower with my opening, my tower's here. So my door's obviously there. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. All right. Okay. So that said, you'll have your bubble diagram / elevation in front of you and you get to it. So we've already talked about that 8-foot line. And that's where the top of the door and the top of the windows will be regardless, no matter what, on the lower end windows. Now, here's the thing that people do that that's wrong with Tuscan architecture. They make these big old monster windows like this. They go, it's a window. Here's my window, Mr. Brown, and there's what it looks like. And, based on my plan, in theory, that could be true. It could be the dining room and into the great room. And in theory, that could be true. But with Tuscan architecture, almost all the European architectures is not what happens. They have smaller, thinner windows. So this is the part I want you to evaluate on yours. And a lot of you are going to have this. I want the window to be taller than it is wide, significantly. Now, if you have a wide window, I really have this window, Mr. Brandon, and it's going to be really big because I want a lot of light to come in there. Then what you can do is you can make 2 windows out of it. So you could do something like this and you can make 2 windows. But I'm going to say don't even do that. A lot of people also try to make basically too much window. So I don't need too much window on these things. So for example, I could say, here's a window and here's a window. You could even choose to move this window a little to the right, a little to the left. I want the windows, if you're going to eyeball it, I want them to be a ratio of 5 to 3. 5 to 3. If you can do it, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, I'm not, you don't have to measure or anything like that, but it's going to be in that ballpark. This is going to leave you opportunities later that I'm going to talk about. So for mine, I've got this dining room window and I've got this great room window. Don't clutter the front of your building with windows. It's not what they do. Now, in my case, because I have this kind of large kind of upper area right here, I would like there to be a relationship between the lower element and the upper element. They don't have to be the same size. It can be smaller, probably not bigger though. probably not bigger. So, the window up there might be, might be up in this area somewhere like up here. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to say, oh, I think I want that window to be not very big. It's just to allow light to come in. I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller, so that there's a relationship between the top element and the bottom element. What I don't want is something that looks like this. Do you see the problem there? It just doesn't look, this looks like an afterthought. Like, why did I even put that there? Why would it go there? There's no relationship between the top and the bottom element. So I'm going to do the same thing, just a little repetition going, which is a very common thing with the style. And I'm going to start blocking this thing out. I don't need any shapes in here, by the way. All I need are the boxes. They call it a blockout for a reason. We'll be using this to do our stuff. All right. You can even leave the center lines in if you want. Doesn't bother me at all. I did ask, and you can verify this on yours, that I want 2 feet between the garage doors. So if I took the scale, I want you to do this with yours, please. And if you measure between this door and this door, I want you to measure 2 feet. 1, 2, and that's it. If it looks bigger than mine, it's wrong. Okay. Some people are making their doors too far apart, and it's creating a problem with the space on the outside. If yours is further than that or closer, you might want to consider just, do a little racing and just kind of tweak it around a little bit. Now you might have a different roof here, and that's okay. If you have a different roof, that's fine. Now on mine, I have a window and then a couple of smaller windows. I have a bathroom window here. Bathroom windows they're a little higher up. Usually the bathroom windows are like near a toilet, and so they're a little higher up. You may have one above your toilet as well. And you can't have it too low because then it would run into the toilet, right? It would be kind of silly. So and it could be a shower, it could even be higher up. All right. So that said, that's my idea. So it might go something like this. Just watch the process. Watch the process. I'm going to take the center. Boom. That's going to be my middle window. The windows aren't very wide. I would go maybe 3 feet total. So if it's 3 feet total, go 1'6" each way. 1, 1.5, 1.5, and then you can lay it out. You can even leave that middle line there because you may use it later, depending on the type of window you choose. If you're doing bedrooms in the front, those of you have bedrooms in the front, anyone have a bedroom in the front? Like looking straight, like in the front? If you do, the magic number is 2'6" from the floor up. That's your magic number. That's what you're going to do, 2.5 feet. So, you go in, you go, okay, 2.5 feet, 1, 2.5, and we're going to make the line. I think it has to do with both child safety, like getting out of that window, it's high enough up, but also like beds running into it, stuff like that. You don't want that window going really low, where windows like these right here, we can go pretty darn low. I probably went a little low on that, but let me just chop that a little bit. No problem. I'm not going to have any room for my details if I do that. Yeah, and so, something like that. when I do these blockouts, I like doing like that. Yeah, let me loan you a piece now and you can buy some later. Do you have 0.7? Yeah, let's see. Okay, where are you? 7. Got it. Take one out of there. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, now I have these other little windows. I'm just going to choose a spot for the middle. Don't go too close to the walls. Now, here's what I want you also to look at. I don't want windows too close to the wall. For example, don't put a window like right here. Don't do that. If you did, move it. Okay, it's a long story, but you don't want to do that. You can't even do that. You can't even do that. It's not buildable. So keep those windows away from the outside of the wall. So I'm just going to choose a spot here. I don't know. I'm going to measure over using my 1/8 scale, a distance. I don't know. I'm going to measure over 5 feet. If I measure over 5 feet that way, then I'm going to measure over 5 feet the other way. I'm just going to make my line. So that'd be the center of the window. Center of the window. Do you see what I'm doing there? Getting some balance going. Kind of like we did the EQs in Revit. And then I'm just going to plop them in. So I don't know. I'm just going to take a guess here. Maybe, I don't know, bathroom window is not going to be very far up. Maybe something like that. And then I'm going to eyeball that a little bit, but it's just a little window. And do the same over here, getting some balance going, and I've got something going on that looks kind of pretty right. It looks balanced. Now, that said, if for some reason you can't do that, like some reason you just couldn't do this one, and you have this, it's not the end of the world. For whatever reason, maybe there's something here like a closet that just doesn't need a window. So what you might do here is you might we'll do an architectural element there. I'll show you later on that will help you with that will allow us to do this, even though it's not balanced, or even though, there's not anything there. I don't want you to put windows in your closets. I don't want you to put windows in your closets. So if you have a closet and it's facing the front, that kind of stinks, but it is what it is. No windows. If you put it there, erase it. Okay, I had this is a loggia area. You probably want to have a plan on that loggia. I would just kind of get a place where the column's going to be, and then call it like that. Let's say there's going to be a column there, and then there's going to be a column on the end, and there's going to be a column on the end. What I don't need is I don't need the geometry of that yet. I just need to know where it's going to be on this blockout. And it could be one big one here. That might not be too small ones. Some of you don't have really big areas here. One opening is fine. Just depends on how much you have. This is kind of marginal, to be honest with you. It's kind of, yeah. It's like I forgot my chimney on this thing, didn't I? If you don't have a chimney, I want it to be 3 feet above the highest portion of the main roof. 3 feet above the highest portion of the main roof. This is my main roof right here. From there, I'm going to measure up 3 feet. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to bring my parallel rule in and kind of block it out. And, the chimneys, they come in all kinds of different flavors and stuff like that. Right now, all I need is the block out 3 feet higher than the highest portion of the roof. Did I cover that in the demo on Wednesday? I don't think I did. And it could be anywhere off the great room. Just have to kind of eyeball where that's going to be. Okay, so the roof tiles. So we have these roof tiles on here and they kind of look like that. You've probably seen these before. You live in Southern California, like everywhere. They're very, very, very common here. The ones in Tuscany are just a little bit different than the Spanish ones. As you can see, there's almost a little flatness to it there. So we need to create that that pattern. Now, if you try to do this like freehand, it can be a little tricky. So I have a trick. All right. So you understand what I'm looking for here? It's this area right up here. See the little, it can be a little loop and then it's flat and a little loop and it's flat and a little loop and so on. So there's definitely a pattern to that. We will also have these little ridge tiles that we'll do later, but right, we will have that kind of thought out. Okay, so let's talk about that. This is probably the hardest part, okay, because everybody messes these up the first time, including me. What's going to happen is you're going to end up overlaying this. This is going to be your process. You're going to be overlaying this like this, right, with the flimsy, and you're going to be going in and doing something that looks like this. To create those tiles. Now, I've been doing this a while, so I'm pretty good at it. See how they're pretty equally spaced? But you haven't been doing it for very long, and you're not going to do these very well equally spaced because you haven't been doing it for very long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little suggestion on maybe how you want to do this. All right. What we're looking for is we're looking for this line right here. Boom, boom. We're looking for, let's call it the left edge of the tile. And then if it's straight and it's equally spaced, then it's going to be really easy for us. Does that make sense? So we need those lines on our blockout to keep everything straight and equally spaced. We just have to come up with like a size. So as we look at this thing, you're going to help me with this. Based on this 4-foot door, maybe 3'6". How far apart do you think these things are? From, now watch where I'm pointing, from the, let's call it the right edge of the tile to the right edge of the tile to the right edge of the tile. If this door is 3'6". And you think about it, the door is 3 foot, 3.5 feet. How far is it from the right edge of the tile to the right edge of the tile to the right edge of the tile to the right edge of the tile? I don't even want you to give me the answer. It's going to be somewhere between 1 foot and 2 feet. Would you agree with that? So you're going to come up with a number. I think 1 foot's probably too small. And I think 2 feet might not be might be a little big, but not gigantically big. You agree? Maybe 1.5 feet. Would that be a good guess? Somewhere in that ballpark. So here's what you're going to do to make your life sane here, because people do a really good job on that, and then they get to the roof tiles and they kind of screwed up. All right, is take your scale. Take your scale. Find your 1/8 scale. And basically what I do is I go every 3 feet. Just watch the concept. I'm going to start here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Now that's double what I want, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, and I'm running out of space. Let me just tell you in on that a little bit. Okay, to see my points? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my triangle and I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hit that. Now I know this is double what I want, and that's okay, because we both know that you can find the middle of those, huh? Right? Because it's not rocket science, find the middle. You just kind of eyeball it, right? There's the middle right there. I can see that. And then boom. There's the middle right there. I can see that. And boom. And so on. Do you see the process I'm using? It's not hard to find the middle of that 3-foot marker. And so you get something that looks like that. continue the process anywhere you have a roof that's front to back. Go ahead, including the tower. I'll give you some time to do that while I do mine. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. My line, because I have this little shed roof on my loggia. Find the middle. Any front to back roofs, of course, you have to do it that way. What you're not going to do is you're not going to see it on the gables facing you, and you're not going to see it on the sheds. So don't worry about those. Just the ones that are kind of front to backs. Okay, it gets more fun. I know you're still doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you anyway. Now we need to do is we need to pick off. Whoa, I didn't want to do that. We need to pick off these kind of curly cues going on right here, right? So the way we're going to do that is we're going to just kind of go next to the ones that are already there and just create a double line. Just kind of create a parallel line next to it. Pretty close. Try to keep them even. See what's going on there? See the double lines happening? And just keep that pattern going. I usually just keep it on the left and move away from it, but you know, whatever, however you want to do it, as long as it's consistent and you're going to create those double lines. So you get this kind of pattern going. So it's flat and then loopy and then flat and then loopy and then flat and then loopy and flat and loopy and so on. And then just continue that pattern. If you mess it up, it's pretty easy to then just kind of go back and get it in. So, you know, it might look something like that. Yep. What's going to happen is, that's a good question. So what's going to happen is on the side sloping down, you're going to get kind of a double whammy. You're going to get the roof tiles going this way because the roof does slant towards you. And then you're gonna have these tiles kind of on top like this as well. So it's going to get kind of both ways because it goes away from you. And also you see that ridge line. There would also be tiles on the top up here like this. you know, the part that covers the top as it goes over the top of the roof. We'll do that when we do the inking part over the top. You can see they all kind of have that same pattern. They're a little bit different than the Spanish Mexican tiles. They're a little closer together. They don't have that flat part right there. So we're trying to go authentic. Now, there's going to be some kind of embellishment up here that you're going to be researching. You know, you could just sort of have it planned out. It could even be something as simple as that. You know, I just know that somewhere right there, there's going to be something. Maybe it's going to be an opening or a small window or what they call a patera. I'll show you some of those details today. Just kind of maybe have it all thought out. That's what this blockout's about. It's about just knowing where things are going to go. So we can fart around with it using our flimsy, which is what we're going to do. Now, later, obviously these roofs are not done, but later we're going to come in and we're going to do stuff like, you know, we'll put roof tiles on the top the way that would be, you know, I'm going to show you that technique as we go through, you know, to make it look authentic. So that's all stuff that's coming, but we have what we need to make that happen, where things are going to go. The other thing I would like you to self-evaluate is that you don't have any, I'm going to call squeezed windows. Let me show you a squeezed window. See the space right here? I would like a window there. And so what people will do is they'll go like this. And they'll go, wow, look at my window. Cool. There's my window right there. I'm going to say that's squeezed into that spot, right? It doesn't belong there. It's just too darn big. All right. So what if you wanted a window there, then you have to be just a little bit more conservative with your, less ambitious, if you will, you know, with how big it's going to be. You know, it might be something like this, more of an elongated window, maybe something like that if you're going to do it. Does that make sense? Where it feels like it belongs more in that space. Sometimes they're not big windows. And like I said, there doesn't have to be something everywhere. There doesn't have to be something everywhere. Sometimes people will design planters. You know, I think I really want a planter, you know, in this space. I'm just going to kind of lay it out. I know where it's going to go. It's going to go somewhere like right in there somewhere. You know, that'll be stuff you guys pull out as well. Okay, this, folks, is going to get turned in today. The blockout, but we're going to be working with the blockout during the course of the period. So sometime between when I release you and the end of the period, you're going to go over to the copy machine. You're going to make a copy of this thing face down. This one's pretty easy because you just turn it upside down and it fits right on the screen on the top left corner. And you give me the copy, not the original. and I'll evaluate it. I'll tear it up and tell you what you did right or wrong, what you need to fix and all that stuff before we get too involved in the process. Okay. Now, I think that's pretty much it for the blockout. Now, leave your blockout down. Then what we do, have a seat. Then what we do is we take the flimsy. This is the design process. We have to decide what we want to do with our doors and windows and all those areas that we blocked out. And so, let's see how I'm going to do this. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so once you have the blockout done and you know where things are going to go, you do a little research. For example, I need a door. I need a door. Maybe I need a window. Maybe I want a grill on the outside. Maybe I don't want, maybe I want to precast this outside part. Maybe I want to precast surround. Notice that the window is taller than it is wide. It's that proportion, that 5:3 proportion I was telling you about. If it was 5 feet this way, it'd be 3 feet that way. If it was 10 feet this way, it would be 6 feet that way. They call it the golden triangle, or it's kind of like a proportion that looks good to your eye. Garage doors, maybe something like that. Right? So you just kind of maybe something like that. One of the problems with the garage doors I gave you, this was done in shade. I took this in Shady Canyon. This is a very expensive home. It's a very expensive home. It's very nice. It's Tuscan. And I think this was 6 million back when I visited this thing like 15 years ago. So it's probably 10 million now or 20 million now or something like that. The problem is those garage doors. The guy that trained me, who designed this, he made the garage doors, watch my hand, 8 feet wide and 8 feet tall, which proportionally looks fantastic. You see any problems with that scenario? Yeah. Yeah, the car, it's a little tight. The car will actually fit if you put the mirrors in, but rich people like their big cars. They like small cars too, but they like their big cars. They like their Escalades and their Hummers and all that stuff. So when I did your door, I made it 9 feet instead of 8 feet. So I kind of broke his rule a little bit. So cars like that would fit. 9 feet is plenty of room. That's really pretty big. That 8-foot door, he used to joke that's like some of the clients would like, I like your door, and they understood why he did it and they weren't mad, but it's like, it kind of sucks that I have to put my mirrors in to park my car. They didn't complain. They just made a point, because they wanted the architecture to be authentic because they paid crap loads of money for it. But they also were a little frustrated that their Hummer wouldn't fit in the garage without having to bring in the mirrors. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to come up with an idea. Let me show you the process. What we're going to do today is idea day. And I'm going to show you all kinds of places to find these ideas. it's probably just, they probably just signed in and got it handwritten. Yeah, maybe send that over to you. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do, let me just kind of move this over a little bit here, is we're going to take the block out. Actually, I didn't need to do that. And we're going to take the flimsy, watch me, the flimsy. And you're going to take your, normally we just kind of roll this out and we just kind of just sketch that way and just continue on the roll. But for the purpose, because we don't have 36 of these things, I'm going to go ahead and just tear a piece and you're going to put it on top. If you want to tape it down, you can, but to be honest with you, you really don't need to. So the play is to take your fine liner. Remember the one with the kind of white tip there? I got plenty. And you're going to kind of experiment with your details. You're going to find a picture you like. Let's say it's this one. Let me put this right here. I want that door. That's the scenario that I want. I like that. So you're going to just kind of make it happen. You're going to go, okay, this thing kind of goes like that. Oh, but then it curves in the corner a little bit like that. And then you're going to lay it out. Oh, and then there are planks of wood and they kind of do like this. Planks of wood on this detail. So I'm just going to go in and put those in ink, try to keep them equally spaced. And then there are these horizontal pieces. That's hard to see on that, but that hold those planks together. And there's another one up here. And then they have little like nails or rivets or something in there that hold those cross pieces to the vertical pieces. So you just kind of create your detail and you go, do I like it? If you like it, you're done. If not, then you go on and you find another detail with another door that you like even better. You might find a window. Hey, I like that window. How am I going to implement it? Well, it looks like it's, do you see the 6 panes of glass? See the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like it goes right down the middle. And then it looks like it's split up into thirds. Does that make sense? Kind of like that. Little double lines there like that. Ooh, that's too wide. And then there's my glass. And then what did they do? Well, then they've got all this crap going on above it, right? So you got this kind of, now don't be all like nitpicky on this. It's just a sketch. I'm not expecting you to be, art person or anything like that. It's just kind of get what's going on there. There's a trim piece on the outside, so on. So you're going to find the detail that you like, and you're going to implement it using the flimsy over the top of your blockout. You might not like that window. Maybe you want a more simplistic window. And if you can see it on the outside there, let me zoom in on that just a little bit. Can you see the brick around the outside of that? I know it's hard to see the glass from that angle, but there's the window. So if that's the window, you're going to have something that goes like this. There was kind of the same play there. It was kind of that 6-pane glass thing like that. And then they had the brick on the outside, kind of went like this. I have another pen I'm going to introduce you in a second here called the skinny pen. And we're just going to go in and just kind of lay those out. Again, I'm not trying to spend a lot of time on this, just trying to get the detail. I know what I'm going to do. So far, so good. Front door. What you're going to find on Tuscan, you're going to see a lot of arched, oops, sorry. You're going to see a lot of arched doors because it's very common. And there's different embellishments and details all day long. You're going to see this stuff, all kinds of doors and so on. So these are all pictures that I've taken of Tuscan homes in areas that you guys can't afford to live in, and neither can I. All right, but are nice. Now, what I also have for you, let me widen this just a little bit, is I have books. Whoops, wrong way. For example, this is the front of a Tuscan home right here. That picture that I took, that's actually my mentor, the guy that's in that little space right there. So, so I have books. For example, this book right here, Tuscan homes and courtyards, homes and courtyards. Look at the building. Do you see the courtyard? Do you see the main building? Do you see the inspiration for what's going on with this project? See the main building? See the ones off to the side, a little shorter? Kind of looks like ours, huh? Now, see the picture? See the book? See the picture? This is where your test comes in, right? See the book? Any similarities? Yes, I took the picture. Do you see where I took the picture? Right in front of that fountain, it looks like, right? Because you can see where he's at, right? See the light above, see the lamp above. So yeah, so these courtyards are really cool. So that's kind of the inspiration behind this this design is going that direction. Main building and then the offsides and then the small ones off to the side and then the courtyard feature people can experience and chairs and hanging out and all that stuff. All right, so watch me. Books. There's a lot of really good details in these books, and you'll see some over on the tables and on top of the computers over there. There'll be one up here. You just kind of grab them, and you can find really cool doors and windows that way as well. You can also, I'm going to bombard you with details because that's going to be the way we end today. Is you can go online. Now, just when you go online, you have to be careful because online is online. Y'all know that everything online is perfect, right? Completely, everything is, if you put in a Google search for, I don't know, computer monitors, every one of them is perfect, right? Yeah, no, right? Or best, I don't know, best jackets, it's like, oh, you're gonna get the best jackets. And when you Google search, there'll be, pictures of dogs jumping off roofs or something, so you can do Google searches, Tuscan style windows, Tuscan style doors. I don't know if I would do it that way because I would not trust what you get. But that said, you might get some really good stuff. If you find something you like, say, wow, I kind of like that. Then you go, well, I think I'm going to implement that. Good luck with that. All right. But you could. No double doors on the front. No double doors on the front. If you have double doors, lose them. Single doors. Okay. Sorry, but our house is not big enough for double doors. It's not going to work. Okay. But if you find a door you like, implement it. Okay. Same thing with the garage doors and so on. All right. What I would do if I were you is I would do Tuscan style walls or something like that, or exterior or something like that. Something that would give you more features than just those one things, and then see what you get. If it looks old and beat up and 300 years old, you're probably a winner. Like that would be a great detail right there. That would be a great detail right there. That's really cool, huh? It's like a shutter on a door. That's weird. Anything, like I said, anything that looks old is going to be a winner. If it looks brand new from the outside, I would steer clear. Does that look old? Looks pretty Tuscan, doesn't it? With all that stone and stuff on there, then those details would be good to go. All right. So it goes. Sometimes you get Tuscan style, and then it's not all that nice. There's a lot of stuff out there that's really not all that nice that they sell for crap loads of money. You'll see. The stuff like what you're designing right now is nicer than what's going on right here. And that's a $2.3 million house. Okay. So what I want from you is I want details. I want a door detail. Front door might go like this, let's just say. And then, you might have a little peephole, let's just say, with a little piece of wrought iron there, let's just say. And then you can use the skinny pin which I have in the box, to create the panels and just kind of, you want to articulate what's going on with this style. Maybe there's something going around the outside of the door. Usually there is. Whatever that detail is, maybe it's bricks or something like that. And so you're going to articulate what's going on there. I want that detail going. So when we come back tomorrow, we're going to put this over the top. I'm going to do a whole elevation over the top of your blockout with your flimsy. Yep. Can you do what? No doorknobs, nothing super small. Now, if there's a wrought iron detail, like, for example, like a lamp, and you have a lamp and say the lamp's going to be up here, we'll do that tomorrow. Don't worry about that right now. We'll get stuff like that in. I'll show you how to do them tomorrow. I want just the main doors, windows, anything that's going to be in the front, you've already got blocked out. Everyone understand the goal? And then keep this paper because you're going to use this tomorrow, because you're going to say, oh, I got a detail, I'm going to use it. And you can even go underneath your other one if you want. So we can kind of go over the top like this, and we can go, layer over layer and get that thing going. Any questions on what I'm looking for from you? Finish the blockout, and then get the details of the windows and the doors for tomorrow when we go back over the top of this thing and start elevating it. Questions? Okay, I'm going to turn you loose.